What's up, guys? One love out to everybody. Quick review, recap for you guys here. UFC 305, the Plessis versus Adesanya. Just a quick review here, and I'm not going to spend too long on this. Let's go through the fights. Excellent card. Every single fight in this card was good, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't judge a book by the cover. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't know the fighter as well, and I've never seen them fight, whatever, you know. These guys put their health in the line every single time during this cage. It's a dangerous sport. You know, we're going to fly through this real quick. Before I do though, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel. Also check out my Patreon account for my face-up predictions and prop plays. You can also donate to my PayPal account. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. Even comment too. Helps with the algorithm, help to get these fights out. You know, help to get my videos out, okay? Pretty good card, man. Was an underdog card. Like I kind of expected that, you know. Usually pay-per-view cards can be kind of tricky, you know. And yeah, man, let's fly through this real quick here. Jesus Aguilera and Stewart, Nicola. Yeah, man, you know, it's one of those things, man, you know, experience. You know, we don't know much about Stewart, you know, other than his other fights, other than UFC, which has never been the UFC. This is his debut, so, you know, good wrestling, but like I mentioned in my I believe I mentioned it in my breakdowns that Aguilera could pull off a submission on him, and he did pull off a guillotine on him, right? So he left his neck there, and I believe Aguilera, one of his famous submissions or his best attributes is his guillotine choke. So good performance by both guys, you know. It happens, man, and Jesus was an underdog, so it is what it is, man. Just one of those things. That's why it's not good to always pick newcomer guys, especially when you don't really know much about them. But there are some guys that would come in here and pull off the window. You know, I mean, we have seen that, and some guys just don't do it. It is what it is, right? Cannonier and Ricky Glenn, more on the slower side of fights here. Probably wasn't one of the best, I guess, exciting fight, but you know, Cannonier did his thing. Ricky Glenn hanged in there too. You know, he looked better than his other fights at 170. You know, but overall though, he still looks slow. You know, hittable. Timing is off. His reaction time no good. You know, taking a lot of damage. You know, but it is what it is though. But good performance by Cannonier and good performance by Ricky Glenn. You know, good performance overall, man. Just being in there. Hats off to these guys, man. It's not an easy sport to get into. No sport is easy, especially when it's mainstream. And especially when you get kicked in the face and punched in the face and get submitted and all these different things, get knocked out. It's wild, guys, as well. Tom Nolan and Alex Rios. Rios came in here and did his thing, man. He was pushing the pace. I believe he won a round or so. But Nolan, you know, started off kind of slow, was getting touched up a little bit, getting taken down, but, you know, going down the long stretch, he kind of started showing his composure and popping the jab, you know, and just showing, you know, why he's actually 1,500, but still, you know, I don't think he should have been 1,500 under odds. You know, I mean, he didn't really show it, but, you know, coming down to the end, he's kind of was showing that a little bit that, you know, he's a little better than Alex, but in the beginning of the fight, it was kind of even and I felt it was kind of even, you know, in the first, second round, kind of, you know, Alex was pushing a high pace in him. But good performance by both guys, though. You know, Tom Nolan went in there and did his thing, man. Jack Jenkins and Robert Burns. Burns has improved a little bit. You know, he didn't quit in the second round. Usually in the second round he quit, man, but he quit in the third round. So, like I said, man, hey, man, you know, it's all over the end of the day. I'm not here to disrespect anybody. It's not easy to come in here and fight, man. So, it is what it is. You know, your body can only take so much, can only take so much damage, and if you can't go anymore, you can't go no more. So, and that's it. Especially when you have a guy hitting the body, kicking in the head, and putting a beating on your calf, like what Jack was doing. You know, it's one of those things where you quit. You know what I mean? So that's what Burns does. So it is what it is. But he actually improved, pushed it into the third round, which I was surprised, and you know, was hanging in there. And then there was a point where he was getting takedowns, and it looked like, you know, he looked like he had a chance to win, you know. But it is what it is, though. Good performance by both guys. Good performance by Jack Jenkins. Casey O'Neill and Luna Santos. Yeah, man. Casey looked good in this fight, man. She looked good in this fight. And I'm not just talking about beauty, you know, that's her technique. You know, Luna also looked good, too. Not just talking about beauty, you know, overall her skills. But the thing about this fight is that experience. And O'Neill was just there's more experienced person there, and O'Neal been working on the boxing, man, as I can see. You know, the hands them look kind of sharper, and she taking her head off center line, she in and out to the footwork a little bit, and she looked good. And physically, strength wise, she seemed a little more stronger, which she was, a little more bigger in frame too. And Santos was also short notice, but you know, like I said, man, you know, you don't really lose anything. You don't really lose, you know. Santos, yeah, I see a L, lose, you know. She learned, you know what I'm saying? There's winning and there's learning. So you win and you learn. Live and learn, you know what I mean? So there's no like, oh man, you know, Luna Santos, she's garbage, you know, it sucks. No, she learned from this. This is a learning experience for her. You know, Casey O'Neill is obviously more experienced, man. You know, she's been there, done it a little bit more, fight tough a woman. You know, I mean, this was just an opportunity for Luna to come in there, possibly get a win on a kind of a short notice. I believe it was like a month or so. And she did what she could have done, and that's it. You know what I mean? She learned from that, and she come back stronger, man. Good performance by both women. This was a pretty good fight. All right, Ricardo Ramos and Josh Culabello. This one here was kind of a robbery. I felt like Josh won that fight, but you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, dude. You know what I mean? Ramos was kind of coming back a little bit and doing his thing. And I could see where he could sway the judges a little bit, kind of go towards Ramos. But I felt Josh did a little bit more, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, though. But, you know, there's a point when Ramos' foot was done. Like, he couldn't even stand up on his leg. He was falling down from off the calf kicks. You know what I mean? I just feel like Josh did more damage in this fight. You know what I mean? The fight could have been stopped at that time. But leave it in the hands of the judges, man. They do whatever they want, man, especially on this card. They have some serious robberies. And was going to be an even more serious robbery. But I don't know. It is what it is. I say leave the fight in the hands of the judges. Heads or tails, man, can go anywhere. But good performance by both guys. Josh will be back. You know, they robbed him there, but it is what it is. Walter Walker and Juna Taffa, yeah, man, you know. It's that thing where we saw Walker in his last fight. And I have a feeling that Walker wasn't really prepared for that fight, you know, when he made his debut in the UFC. I don't think he was too prepared for that, man. Because from what I see from him on the outside of the organization in the other fight leagues, he looked better in the other organization. He looked good. And that's why, you know, I had him beating Lucas. The first time he came, I was like, you know, he looked good. He looked like the guy, you know, when he fought Junior from his other organizations that he fought in. He looked go for a takedown, you know. It's not about Junior though. Junior good striking, but ground game, man. Ground game no good, man. And Walter Walker sealed the takedowns and went for a heel hook. No, this is the thing about a lot of people don't know about this. You know, there are rules in these games, right? When you get a guy in a submission and Walter Walker lock up the heel hook and start to spin and turn and twist that ankle. Now, we see Juna Taffa went, and he reached his hands down to kind of like, it looked like he wasn't going to tap, but it's like he's punching or slapping. That's verbal submission. That he's verbally, that means he's feeling pain. No, if he didn't scream, it'd be different. But screaming meaning that he's feeling pain. And if Walter Walker keep on cranking that ankle, just so that Juna Taffa knee will be done. Yep, his knee will be done. Just say knee will be done, man. Heel hook. The heel hook jack up your whole freaking knee. Oh yeah, everything tear up in that knee. So a lot of people don't understand that though. You know, you can't scream and yell when a guy have you in a submission. That means that you're verbally in pain, and you want to tap, but you're not tapping, but you're saying it verbally, like and then also he's using hand gestures as far as reaching down. You know, so it's showing that good performance by Walter Walker. You know, he did nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying? He went in there and got a submission. That's it. And the guy screamed and yelled because he was in pain. He was going to rip up his knee. good performance by both guys. Hopefully, Tougher is cool. He's okay, and you come back stronger, man. Carlos Praise versus Jingling Lee. Yeah, man. Jingling Lee, man, didn't look like the same Lee that I know, and it shows more of coming back from off a spine surgery. Usually, when you come up from spine surgery, and I should know better than that because I had Lee winning, but there's a couple guys that come up from spine surgery, and when those guys come back, they never look the same. And I never really see a guy come back from spine surgery and perform at any high caliber. Okay, remember now they're going into your spine. In your spine, your vertebrae in your back controls everything. Your digestive system, your mental, controls everything. Your vibe, your feelings, your energy, your movement, your mental. It controls everything. When that get messed up, yeah, you're in serious problems. You may not be the same anymore. So, good performance by Lee. Went in there and did the best he can. Carlos looked good. But Lee just didn't look good, man. He looked stiff. He looks like a guy that had a lot of time off. And he did. And looked like a guy coming back from serious injury, which he probably did. So he looked stiff. He looked stationary. He was just there getting the left hand all night. And, he looked okay after the knockout, which I don't like to see guys get knocked out like that. But I feel it would be okay, though. And come back. I don't know if he come back stronger, but it could be because he had so much time off. But also goes back to this, the spine, the surgery. Usually guys come back not too good from that, and it shows, But good performance by Carlos, though. He looks sharp. That left. He must be that cigar weed, man. That cigar weed. But yeah, man. Hey, do what you do, man. It's all over the end of the day, guys. All right. But good performance by both guys, and Lee come back stronger, man. All right. Rogan Struck and Titus Avasa. Split decision. How the hell is this a split decision, man? Rogan Struck won every single round easily, bro. That judge was nuts. I mean, it was 30 something, 30-20 something, or something like that. Some kind of weird number for Ty, and he went to a split decision. Are you nuts? They really wanted Ty to win. You see, what they wanted was Ty, Dan Hooker, France, and Israel to win. That's what they wanted, man. That's what they wanted, man. And I'm gonna tell you guys something, man. And something that I've noticed from breaking down fights for a long time and doing predictions, which sometimes I get caught in this though. Like I said, there's no losing, there's only learning. And sometimes I write things down all the time. Sometimes I write things down all the time, the mistakes I make, and I write it down, which is part of manifestation, right? And just to remind myself, so I'll go back and read it, right? There's sometimes when you hear the announcers talk, and they mention certain guys, like, oh man, this guy look really good, man. No, man, this guy arms, his boxing is great. Man, yeah, man, this guy, I don't really see nobody beating him at this weight class, man. He's just so excellent. Sometimes you gotta be careful with these announcers when they're talking, because sometimes they put these in your head. It's like a programming. You know what I'm saying? And it makes you believe that, like, oh man, oh really, this guy's really, really good, huh? But it's not really your own interpretation of it. That's why what I do now, which I was doing from before and I stopped doing it, but I'm going to go back to doing it, I play music while I'm breaking down my fights. So when I'm watching the fights over again, I play music and I cut the sound off. I don't want to hear none of the announcers. All over the end of the day to all these guys, and they do a good job, but sometimes they boost up these guys so much that you, in your mind, you believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And when something is said over and over and over again, even if it's a lie, you eventually become truth. So you start to believe in it because it's been spoken over and over. That's how your brain, that's how they program you. With commercials, with everything. The TV, they tell your vision. That's how they program you, man. So you say it over and over again. Over and over again. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Oh, damn. He is the greatest. But you ask yourself, why do you feel like he's the greatest? I don't know. Because the announcer said so? No, yeah, because they say it over and over again. If you turn off the sound, turn them off, and you watch the fights without no sound, you in your own mind will decipher through it and figure out which guy is going to win. I'm going to go back to start doing that, because that's what I used to do from before. Just listen to music, turn off the announcements, and I go and do my own thing. I might read up the stats on the guys to make sure I know everything about them, and that's pretty much it. Right? So, yeah, I wanted Ty to win, of course, but Rosenstruck destroyed him. It's a unanimous decision by Rosenstruck, man. And you can see Rosenstruck has improved, man. He become more technical now. He's not just going in and brawling. He's like slipping. He's like cutting off center line, coming back with counters. The guy looks pretty good, man. He looks very, very good in this fight. Ty looks the same way. He's lunging in with overhands, getting hit with shots. He's getting countered. But Ty is marketable because a lot of people love him. Especially not only in Australia them love him, but everywhere in the world, you know what I'm saying? He's like a fun guy. And like I said, the guy is cool. It's all over the end of the day. But it's not a split decision though. And that's pretty much it. It's not a split decision. But good performance by both guys. You know, Ty took a lot of damage in this fight. Like I said, he takes a lot of damage. He took a lot of damage, but he's hanged in there and did the best he can. Rosenstruck looked very, very good. All right. Dan Hooker and Gamrot. Split decision. I mean, I could see it. It could have went both ways. I felt like Gamrot kind of did enough, but I could see where Hooker could have gotten it too. Because Hooker was stuffing the takedowns, coming back with strikes, but Gamrot was still outstriking him though, was catching him on the coming in. So when Hooker come in, Gamrot was countering. He counter and cut off center, right? So Hooker would like come straight. He's come off center. First he hook him and then he cut center. And he cut off center line, so he kind of sidestep him. So sometimes Hooker would be off balance, right? So it's one of those things where Gamrot was kind of slowing down, so it just didn't look good in the eyes of the judges. I mean, I could see that. And Hooker was pushing the pace more hard in the third. And Gamrot was just more on the back foot. So, I mean, I could see where it could be split, but I feel like Gamrot could have still gotten that too. But again, in these fights and some of these pay-per-view cards, it's the matchups are set in a way. I'm not saying the fights are set like the guys are dropping the ball, just on purpose, but they match the fights up knowing that the specific guy is going to win, being an underdog. You feel me? When they match up Rosenstruck with Ty, they probably didn't realize how much better Rosenstruck have gotten. They probably didn't realize that. Rosenstruck trained hard for this fight. They probably thought that Ty would have went in there and knocked him out. You see what I'm saying? Remember, underdogs win this fight, And whenever you're placing a bet or whatever you're doing, it's not about favorites winning. Because they don't make money like that. They make money off of underdogs. And a lot of times it can be difficult to find and feel and see the underdogs. Especially when somebody's telling you over and over again that this guy is the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? Good performance by Hooker, good performance by Dan Gamrot, and good performance by Dan Hooker. Kaya France and Steve Erceg. This is a perfect example right here, man. Now, if you listen to all these guys about Steve Erceg, right? And like I said, I'm not throwing stones or disrespecting anybody. I'm just speaking facts, right? Steve Erceg, coming from, how long has he been in the UFC? Been in UFC from 2023, right? Fought David Dovrak, right? He looked good against him, right? But if you look at his record, the guy is still, he's still learning, man. He's not experienced like that. He kind of went up the ladder too quick, pushing up too fast. Fought Costa, he looked good. In fact, Matt Chanel and knocked him out. But Matt Chanel is 16-7. If you look at Matt Chanel's record, it's not like Matt Chanel was like, like champion oriented on a high level, So, I mean, not taking anything away from him, but he's still an experienced guy. And he knocked him out, so the public said, okay, cool. So, he went ahead and then he fight Andre Pantoja. And he looked okay in that fight. He looked decent in the fight, right? But you can still see that where there's holes in his fighting, in his game there's still holes. You know what I'm saying? There's still a kind of a unexperienced kind of vibe with him, right? And a guy like Kaya France, who's an Ultimate Fighter shows and all these things, these guys are super experienced, man. Each guy is different in their own way. A guy like Pantoja, he can strike, but the ground game is more his thing. But he can strike though. but the ground game seemed to be more of his thing. France is more on the stand-up. He's more on the kickboxing. The kickbox is more on that, right? So, and I got caught on this too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get caught up in the hype because I said the announcers speak a certain way, and like, oh man, Steve Erceg, his hands are good, this and this and this, and sure enough, underdog France going there and then do what? Knocked him out. So these are the things that we have to be careful of. And speaking for myself too, we gotta be careful with these when we're predicting fights. Turn off the sound, play your music, or just mute it. You don't need no. If you don't want to play music, you can just mute it. Watch the fights without no sound, and do your own breakdown and do your own breakdown and your own analysis work based off of your own thoughts. Because a lot of times, man, ladies are not just talking, and you're like, oh, maybe that is true, but it ain't true. Steve is not an experienced man. The guy's decent, but if you fight these other guys that are more experienced than him, obviously, like France and the rest of all these other guys in the division, most likely they may beat him, man, and that's just what it is. I mean, what's even a red flag here is that France is plus 190. There's no way he should be a plus 190. That's why I made that song, Crazy Odds, when I made the prediction and breakdowns, right? The odds in this card were crazy, man, and it showed. A lot of underdogs came in, right? So, Steve Erceg still good at what he does, but these guys like France and Brandon Moreno and Pantoja, all these guys have been through things that Steve has never seen or been through. It's just experience, man, and it showed, right? So it's just one of those things where, like I said, they hyped up Steve. The kid is good, but he's not at these guys' level. Just face the fact. That's just what it is, and it's facts. All right. So, like I said, when I'm breaking down these fights, I'm going back to give me a second there, guys. I'm going back to breaking down these fights. I'm going back to breaking down these fights pretty much with music playing. I'm not listening to the announcers, man, because it can get into your mind. You know what I'm saying? So, if there's anything in this fight here, France should have been favorite, or it could have been even. But we saw what happened, Good performance by both guys there, Steve, the guy will come back, he's 12-3, Still have some things to learn, his chin is kind of high. Like we always say, I've been saying this, his chin is kind of high up, he can get caught with punches. And he was getting caught. Most of the fights that he's fought, he was getting caught. In a Costa fight, he was getting caught in that fight until he had to go to wrestle. I believe he almost got knocked out in that fight too, and he had to go to wrestle. So it shows, if Acosta is doing that, what do you think France is going to do? But a lot of these things, when you keep hearing something over and over again, you start to believe in it, right? So, and then it becomes you. But that's why I say, like for myself, I'm breaking down the fights. I should do this long ago. Like I said, I don't listen to announcers. I just mute it and play music. Yep. But good performance by both guys. Steve Erceg, the guy will be back. It's just one of those things, happens, man. I don't like to see guys get knocked out like that. So, look like he's okay. So, good performance of both guys. I don't like to use the word hope. Hope is like maybe he's not. So that's just how I roll, right? The Plessis, DDP, and Israel Adesanya, this fight was already set in stone. I called this long time ago. Even before these guys were going to fight. Went in there, oh, you my nigger, and saying all these things. It's already a wrap. He messed himself up. It's the energy he's putting out, DDP is saying that I'm from South Africa, which he is. He lives in South Africa. That's all the guy is saying. Easy is taking it more than that into something else where it doesn't have to go there. So he already screwed himself up already. That energy he's putting out came right back and smacked him in the face. Then on the press conferences and, when they meet up and talking, then he started to show his emotional side, which he never showed that, especially in combat. That mental warfare. DDP got into his head. He started to cry, all these things. It shows his vulnerability, show weakness. When you competition or anything, or you're facing any enemy, don't show no weakness. Don't show no weakness. Nothing wrong about crying, because sometimes, when I'm by myself and I watch a movie or something like that, which I don't watch much movies and anything like that, but some things in your little tears and stuff like that, but I'm by myself. But when I'm facing my opponent, I'm not gonna be like tearing up and all these things and like, because it shows a weakness and that he got into his mental state. He said, I found something. Like Yoda would say, I see weakness in you. That's a sign. See weakness. We're gonna take that and use it for our advantage. Turn it into strength for us. Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. So I knew this fight that DDP was gonna win already, even before they even announced the fight was happening. So, and also, like I told you before, Israel Adesanya doesn't look the same anymore. He doesn't counter like how he used to. He's more running off to the left side or to the right side. He's cutting laterally, which is good, but he's cutting laterally with his head turned. So he's trying to exit now. What he used to do when the guy comes in, he would like slip and counter, or counter. Kind of like Michael Venom Page, Stephen Thompson, these guys, or like myself, that counter strike. When you read your opponent and what the opponent is going to give you, you follow up after that. Good example is also Robert Whittaker, right? And even the wins that Israel had, against Whittaker and all these guys, he was in the pocket countering. Doesn't do that no more. So is that's the end of him? Maybe that's that style that he used to do, or he used to execute the technique. He just not able to do it anymore, and it happens. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Anderson Silva, the same thing. Eventually, after a while, it just doesn't look the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? So he probably doesn't feel comfortable hanging out in the pocket, just cornering like that. You know what I mean? He feel more comfortable if he go disengage to the left or right, and then kind of like run off to the side, or like try to avoid a hit like that till the head is going back like this. Instead of him used to be in the pocket, just bam, bam, countering. He doesn't feel comfortable doing that. And you see it, Sean Strickland, you see it in that. You saw it with the Alex Pereira fight. You see it in some of the Cannonier fight. You saw it in the Robert Whittaker fight too. Which I felt like Robert Whittaker won that fight. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Izzy. You know what I'm saying? It's all over the end of the day. But at the same time, it's everything based on energy. And the energy you give out is the energy you get back. You see what I'm saying? You have to, you come a point where your ego can get the best of you, and then you get a humbling. You get a humble experience, and this is a humble experience here. Will he be back? He can come back, but as far as I can see, that countering and timing and the ability to see and feel the opponent coming in and counter off, just bam, 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 he's not able to do that no more. Against somebody who probably is not that high of a level, he can get away with it. Because it all depends on your experience and the skills of the person. But these guys are that hit hard and are coming forward. He doesn't want to get hit, but at the same time, he doesn't counter like he used to. So now he's laterally movement to the left or right with his head kind of turned, which he gets caught when he actually does that. Before, when the guy come in, like DDP did it a lot, his chin is up in the air. Usually he would just go bam, 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 and come over, bam, or he sidestep, bam, bam, and catch the guy. It's a counter. You see a lot in karate, in Kyokushin. It's a counter strike. Anderson Silva, a lot of these guys that do it. You see it a lot. He doesn't do it no more. So it is what it is. I'm saying maybe that was his moment. He had a good run. A lot of kickboxing matches, I'm saying that plays a factor too. The guy been doing it for a long time. So from 2011, you know what I mean? He had a whole lot of kickboxing matches. He just come a point where it's just that he probably doesn't want to get hit anymore. He doesn't feel comfortable sharing or exchanging in the pocket like that. And then also, if you notice his fights, he's becoming more hittable now. So every single fight, Sean Strickland, DDP fight, Alex Pereira, he's becoming more hateable. So that's a sign that, I'm not saying, you do whatever you want to, if you want to retire, whatever you want to, but what else is he going to do? Find somebody at a lower level? But it is what it is at the end of the day. But I called it already, and I called it with Sean Strickland. I said Sean Strickland would win, and I said DDP would win. So the reason why I can break on this fight good, because it's like I can see myself in there, being, like Asana or Easy or behind this. For guys that move similar like how I move, easy for me to read the fight based off what I see from them. Like, based off like, are they improving? Is their skill set declining? And what I see from Israel Adesanya, his skill set has declined. So guys like Sean Strickland, guys at DDP, not saying that they're not good, but their technique can get sloppy at times, especially DDP. He has a sloppy technique, but it works for him. But his chin is there. He's kind of like stutter stepping. He's winging punches from a distance. He's just lunging in. His chin is high. A good counter striker will take advantage of that. Like that. Easy. Like that. On point. On point. Israel Adesanya way back here, like around, I would say around when he fought Whitaker, like the Euromira Paulo Costa, he probably could have gotten him then, DDP. I would pick Israel Adesanya around that moment, because you could see that he had it. Some people say maybe he was on steroids, he was on the juice. A lot of these guys are on steroids. A lot of them just cycle off. So that wouldn't be surprised. But that's it right there, guys. I'm not going to spend too long on this. I have to do the Contender series, like I promised. But very good card, though. Good performance by Israel Adesanya. Good performance at DDP. Like I said, guys, all over the end of the day, I just speak facts, and that's it. And I call it. And like I said, it's all over the end of the day. It's no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, everybody has that ego on them. And I also had an ego. I had an ego. I had to let that go. We just say let go. Right? And let's understand that, there's energy everywhere. And you can use it for your advantage positively. And, it's no, I'm better than you. No, it's all over the end of the day. It's all about learning. You know what I'm saying? There's no losers. You just learn. I go on other people's channel too and watch them videos, and I watch them when they go live, because I can learn from that, because I've never went live before, which I am going to go live, but I go on other people's channel and I like them things, and it's all over the end of the day, man. And that goes for martial arts too. I will learn from somebody else if a technique that I'm trying to learn and is, and the other person may look kind of sharp. Oh, yeah, I learned it. Hey, man, it's all over the end of the day. I never used to be like that though, because I was cocky and arrogant, kind of like a easy. But at the end of the day, hey, you get humble, and that's it. And what happened is just I seen it, that the cockiness and arrogance, and it got to him. And when he went in the cage and like, oh, you're my nigga, the way how he's behaving, DDP wasn't about that. You can tell that that's not what he meant. He just stating facts. But a lot of time the ego get to you, man. And this is with a lot of people, man. That damn ego, and that ego will kick your ass. It will always come back and smack you in the face, just like that. Always come back or submit you. And this is a life lesson I'm teaching you guys. This could be with just you alone, just in your whole life. Humble, man. Be humble, thankful, be grateful for what you got. And show love all the time, man. Show love, not hate. Let love guide you, not hate. Everybody, all these predictions, and everybody does their own thing. And all these people that do prediction videos, all over the end of the day, I'm not here to compete with nobody. I'm just doing my thing, man, and that's it. And like I said, I love a lot of these prediction videos these other people do. And I respect, you know what I'm saying? And if people want to do, like work together with me, and then, we can collaborate and do something, it's all good if I feel like I want to do it, or if I feel like it can work, then we can do something. You know, it's not no problem. And just go for anything. You know, all over the end of the day. Like I said, let love guide you, not hate, because that karma will always come back and bite you in the ass. Always. Take it from me, man. You know, life experience, guys. Life experience, man. It will teach you. And that's that energy. You know, that's that energy, man. See? So I know easy. I could feel this guy. His energy is strong. He talks a lot about his spiritual side. And I understand where it's coming from. Same thing with Alex Pereira. I understand. I could feel these guys. I could feel them. You understand? So when I see something off, I feel that. You understand? So that's it right there, guys. We're going to do the Contender series. Let's just put that in there. It's coming up, which is one day. I haven't started yet, but tomorrow I'm going to knock it out. Get out to you by tomorrow. 5 fights. Don't know none of these guys, but we're going to go through it and break it down. I was 4-1 the last one. It's pretty good. I usually come in, you know, at a 5-0, 4-1. So I'm going to work on this and knock that out. I may go live on this UFC fight night. You probably say, man, why you didn't go live on the Easy and DDP? But, you know, hey, you know, I may go live on this UFC fight night. I'll see what's up, man. And then we got fight night here coming up, 24, Fighting Nerds. All right, Kyle Burl. This guy's a pretty good guy, man. You know, Fighting Nerds guy, the other guy there, Praise, was also a Fighting Nerd guy to the fight, Jing Ali. He was also a Fighting Nerd guy too, man. These guys camp are pretty good, man. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna sleep on these guys. This Kyle guy is pretty good, a very good prospect, man. And I like this card. Like I said, I never judge a card by the cover, but I love the matchups because a lot of these guys I do know. Maybe the early fights here, some of these guys I don't know. Maybe actually, I don't know this. Well, yeah, actually, I know all these guys here. The Kong Wang, I don't really know. That's probably the only person. But this card looks pretty decent, though, guys. So I'm gonna go work on this one here. And now we got 10 fights. I don't know. Look at it, it's only gonna be 10. So we're gonna knock that out. And like I said, guys, you know, we learn a lesson from that card. Learn a lesson, man. They will get you. Like I said, when they match those fights up, they match them up in a way where they play with the odds, man. So remember. It's not about all favorites. Like, oh man, this favorite is going to win. It's about underdogs. And every card is different based on how they want to pull it off. You see what I'm saying? So just by matching up, you may see a guy that's like way underdog. And you're like, you know, if you don't break it down and analyze it, you can fall into it. You know what I'm saying? You think that this favorite guy is going to win, but it's really the underdog guy that's going to win. And they said it like that. Like that last UFC card. It was set like that. Set like that. You know, it didn't have to happen like that though. But when they analyze it and they matchmake it and say, okay, this, then they say, okay, you know, it's most likely France will beat Steve. Because based on experience, most likely Dan Hooker can beat Gamrot because Dan Hooker has improved. The guy has improved, right? They thought Ty was going to beat, they think Ty was going to beat Rosenstruck. So like I said, they will match it, but sometimes it won't work in their favor, but they're trying to rob it, though. They try to rob it with the split decision, you see. So it is what it is. Same thing here, Ricardo Ramos and things. You know, there's robberies, man, and there's ways of, like, this one here, the Jesus and Stewart. They knew that Jesus had a submission chance in that. But it doesn't have to play out that way, though. But when they match it, in their matching mind, they're like, okay, Stewart, make him favorite, but we're looking at Jesus, though. Jesus is who we want, right? Dan Hooker and Gamrot. Okay, make Gamrot favorite, but we're looking at Dan Hooker. France and Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg, favorite, but we're looking at France, though. You see? So, but it doesn't always work out that way, but that's how it is, though. And like I said, watch the fights. From my opinion, I mean, I'm going to use opinion. Because it works for me, watch the fights, we don't know sound. Yep. When you're doing your prediction, your breakdowns, you know what I'm saying? When you're going back to analyze and watch the fights and try to do your homework, watch it without the sounds of the announcers. Yeah, all right? That's it right there, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, get these videos out. One love out to everybody. Keep on kicking, and